Picture this for a moment. You re-driving down an isolated road in the heart of Africa when suddenly your bus breaks down completely. The engine has failed, there's no cell phone signal, and you're miles away from any town. The sun is setting, the temperature is dropping, and among the passengers are small children and elderly people. Sounds like the beginning of a tragedy, doesn't it? But what happened next will completely transform your perception about the intelligence and compassion of wild animals. This is the true story of how a 2-year-old baby elephant became the unlikely hero who saved the lives of 23 people. A story that challenges everything we think we know about nature, and reminds us that kindness can emerge from the most unexpected places. It was an ordinary Tuesday when the Safari Tours bus departed from Nairobi, heading to a nature reserve in Kenya. Among the passengers were tourists from various nationalities, local families, and even a medical team returning from a humanitarian mission. No one imagined that this routine trip would transform into a life lesson about courage and protective instinct. Around 5 in the afternoon, as the bus crossed a region known as Baobab Valley, driver James Kamani noticed a strange noise coming from the engine. He tried to accelerate, but the vehicle gradually began losing power. Within minutes, the bus stopped completely in the middle of a dirt road. Surrounded by dense vegetation with the sun already beginning to set on the African horizon. James tried everything, checked the fuses, tested the battery, even asked for help from passengers with mechanical experience, but nothing worked. The bus radio had also failed, and cell phones couldn't pick up a signal in that remote region. The situation was becoming desperate, especially because temperatures in Baobab Valley can drop dramatically during the night, reaching near freezing. That's when Sarah Mitchell, an English nurse who was among the passengers, noticed something moving between the trees. At first, she thought it was just the wind swaying the vegetation, but then a small curious trunk appeared from behind a bush. It was a baby elephant, clearly separated from its herd, watching the bus with an intensity that caught everyone's attention. The little elephant, who would later be nicknamed Hero by the passengers, showed no fear or aggression. Instead, he slowly approached the bus, as if studying the situation. The passengers fell into absolute silence, watching through the window as the calf walked around the vehicle, gently touching the wheels and body with his trunk, as if conducting an inspection. What happened next left everyone speechless. Hero positioned himself in front of the bus and began pushing the bumper with his forehead, as if trying to move it. When he realized he couldn't do it alone, the little elephant did something extraordinary. He raised his trunk high and made a sound that experts describe as a species-specific distress call. In less than 15 minutes, the deep, profound sound of an adult trunk echoed across the savannah. It was Hero's mother, accompanied by 3 other adult elephants from the herd. But instead of simply retrieving the calf and leaving, something magical happened. The group's matriarch approached the bus and, after a few seconds observing the situation, positioned herself beside the calf in front of the vehicle. James, the driver, immediately understood what was happening. With tears in his eyes, he started the bus again, put it in neutral, and waved to the elephants. As if they perfectly understood the signal, the mother and Hero began pushing the bus, while the other elephants positioned themselves on the sides to guide it. For almost 2 hours, this elephant family pushed the bus for more than 3 miles, until they reached the main road. When they finally spotted the lights of other vehicles on the highway, the elephants stopped. The matriarch gently touched the bus bumper with her trunk, as if saying goodbye, and the entire family disappeared into the darkness of the savannah. Minutes later, a rescue truck arrived and towed the bus to the nearest town. All 23 passengers arrived safely, but carrying forever the memory of this extraordinary encounter. Hero's story and his family isn't just about an animal rescue. It's about empathy, emotional intelligence, and the ability to recognize when someone needs help. Scientific studies confirm that elephants possess one of the most complex brain structures in the animal kingdom, with specific areas dedicated to compassion and recognizing danger situations involving other species. What's most impressive about this story is the conscious decision of an elephant family to dedicate hours of their time to help complete strangers. There was nothing they could gain from this behavior. On the contrary, they risked exposing themselves to an unknown and potentially dangerous situation, but they chose to help anyway. This story teaches us that kindness isn't an exclusively human characteristic. It exists in different forms throughout the animal kingdom, and sometimes manifests at the most unexpected and necessary moments. Hero, a calf of only 2 years old, taught 23 people that compassion has no age, species, or boundaries. Today, more than 3 years after this incident, Safari Tours maintains a conservation project in the Baobab Valley region, specifically to protect the elephant family that saved their passengers. James is still a company driver, and whenever he passes that road, he slows down and looks into the vegetation, hoping to see his trunk heroes again. The lesson from this extraordinary story is simple but profound. We never know where our next lesson in humanity will come from. Sometimes, it comes from a small elephant with a giant heart, reminding us that we're all connected on this planet, and that caring for each other is what makes us truly special. If this story touched your heart like it touched mine, leave a comment telling us about the greatest life lesson you've ever received from an animal. Subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories about the incredible connection between humans and animals. And don't forget to like this video so more people can learn about Little Hero's story. The elephant hero who proved that kindness has no limits.